So hello everybody. I'm Alexis, and I'm going to present the French Summer School of IMTM in Albi with my colleague Evan Alari, who is on the chat box right now. So just to let you know that this webinar is registered, so you can see it again, you can share it with your friend, with your colleagues. And I will just ask you please to unmute your microphone. Perfect, so we can avoid disturbance. And we will have a room for question and answer at the end of this webinar. So I will begin by sharing my screen. And so we can, here. Can you see my presentation? I guess that yes. Seems to be okay. Perfect. Yeah. So we will begin. I will begin actually with one question. Who among you already know the city of Albi? You can answer by yes or no. And we'll see. So I leave you some seconds. Okay, interesting. We have 7 people answered, and even if the majority of people don't know Albi, we have some people who already know the city of Albi, 3 of them. Actually, if you don't know the city of Albi, it's not really surprising because Albi is a very, very small city. Especially if you come from a country with huge cities, Albi is very surprising because we only have 1,100 inhabitants, which is very small. Actually, it could be the neighborhood of one big city. And people are really surprised to see that actually we have a School of Engineering and universities in the city of Albi. You might not know the city of Albi. However, you might have heard about Toulouse. Toulouse is the 4th city of France. It's located just 1 hour away from Albi. And it's very famous because it's the headquarters of Airbus, for example. And so that's why usually the people know about Toulouse, but they don't really know about Albi. So just to let you know that if you want to arrive to Albi, you will have to go through Toulouse at the beginning, because this is where we have our airport, and we have some pickup service from the airport of Toulouse to the city of Albi. So Albi is a small city, yes, that's true, but it's very beautiful. We are classified as the World UNESCO Heritage for 2 reasons. And the main reason is for the architectural history of the city. Also, we have a lot of events, actually. Even if the city is very small, we have many events organized all year long, and especially during summer, because even if we have few students during summers, we have a lot of tourists coming from all around the world to see our city, to visit our museum of Toulouse-Lautrec, for example. So we have a lot of big events during all summer, especially this festival, Post Guitar, for example, but we have a lot of other events. So as I told you, Albi is classified as a World UNESCO Heritage. And it makes of us a city that is very nice to live in. You can wander in the city and you can enjoy really the beautiful architecture, which is both historical and modern. And we have a lot of activities. I've put here a rugby game because we are in the southwest of France, and southwest of France is really famous for the rugby. We are huge fans of rugby, much more than football. We have a lot of other activities, and we always have some festival expositions, art exposure, sport demonstration, many things to do in our small city. So now let's speak about IMTM in Albi campus. Our school is a School of Engineering. We are located in the surroundings of Albi, but because the city is so small, actually to go from our campus to the city center, it will take you only between 10 and 20 minutes by bike, for example. I usually come by bike from home to the campus, and it takes me 20-25 minutes, even if I'm living on the other side of the city. So it's very good to live in a small city for that reason. You can also see that in our campus, we have some residences. I will speak about that later. But basically, most of our students are accommodated, are housed in the campus. Speaking about who we are, so we are a school of engineering, a small school of engineering with a little bit less than 1,000 students. Our peculiarity is that most of our students, not most of our students, but a high percentage of our students are women, 38%, which is pretty good in the School of Engineering indeed. We have among the highest rates in France, and 20% of our students are international, they are not French. Because we work a lot with international partners from all around the world, we have more than 60, almost 70 international partner universities. Also, you can see that we can provide accommodation for most of our students. We have 5 out of residences on the campus and 3 in the city center of Albi. We also have a center for innovation, 1 student center, and many sport and leisure activities. You can see here the sports center. We have tennis, rugby, soccer fields, a room for the Students Association, and the very important university restaurant. So basically, you can live in our campus and have all the things you want. Classrooms, sport activities, leisure with the association of students, and even restoration. I mean, the university restaurant. All of that in our campus. So what is our French summer school? Actually, it's quite a long story because we've had our first French summer school in 2014, where we hosted several dozens of students. Most of them were from Brazil. We actually created this program for Brazilian students at the beginning, but we decided to open it to other students because we realized that when students are going to study in France, they usually speak already French, even if some of them do not speak French, because we know that many people are studying in English now in France. But you always go in another environment, and it might be difficult to get used to this new environment. So the French summer school we implemented at the beginning only for Brazilian students. We opened it to many other students. And indeed, you can see in the picture that people are coming from everywhere. We could not organize the 2020 and 21 editions because of the COVID pandemic. So we organized it online. But last summer, we were really happy to welcome almost 40 students from many different countries again in our campus. So why should you participate? Well, I'm going to give you 4 reasons for considering your participation in the French summer school. Well, the first reason is pretty obvious. It's to learn French. Actually, during the French summer school, you will receive 80 hours of French classes. So it's a pretty intensive program. It's 20 hours of French per week, but you will also hear French every day outside of the classroom. So it's really important for you because, I mean, the 20 hours per week of French classes are maybe the visible part of the iceberg, because after these classes, you will either way speak and learn and hear French all day long. And so that's what makes you really, I mean, it's really reliable because you will improve your French skills in a very good way. Many students, they come with a B1 level to the French summer school, and after only 1 month, they get the B2 level because of this intensive way of practicing. The second reason is to set up in France. For some of you, you might be studying in France from September. Usually, the beginning of classes are in end of August or September. And actually, you might know that we have a lot of administrative procedures, a lot of paperwork to do when we are international students. You need to register to the CEVEC, to the health insurance, to the CAF, which is the accommodation subsidies, and many other things. So if you don't know how to do that, it might be a little bit tricky. And our idea is really to help you with all these procedures, not only teaching you French, but also helping you smoothing this adaptation, which can be a little bit difficult at the beginning. Okay, then another reason is discovering the French culture. You all come from other countries, and you know that French people might be difficult to understand sometimes, not only for linguistic reasons, but for cultural reasons. And the idea is also to teach you about cross-cultural management, so you can understand a little bit more about French, how they work, how they live, and understanding them will help you to will make your sojourn, your stay in France a little bit easier. And finally, the other reason is to understand the French School of Engineering. But I would say to understand the French higher education system, indeed, because the higher education in France is might be a little bit specific. You might not know how to behave with professors, how to take notes, for example, how to find an internship. And these are very important skills that you need to practice. You need to learn at least during your stay in France, because finding an internship, for example, is very key in your transition from the academic world to the labor market. And it might be easy for French students because they already know how to find an internship, but you might not know it. So our idea is really to help you with all these processes. So our French Summer School 2023 edition, what is it? It's a 4-week program based with 80 hours of French intensive classes, 3 modules, and 3 field trips. And it will last between 31st of July and the 25th of August. So for most of you, you can come to our French Summer School, and after the 25th of August, you can go to your host university. It can be in Mines Alès, Mines Saint-Étienne, it can be in Paris, it can be elsewhere, anywhere. You don't have to study in Albi after the French Summer School to participate to it. We've opened it to many people because we think that the merrier, the better. We are the more diverse our groups, the better it is for us. Regarding prices, so prices were lowered. They were a little bit more expensive before COVID, but we've managed to make it a little bit cheaper. It costs 850 euros for people applying from partner universities and 1,150 euros for people applying from non-partners university. What you have to take into account also is that we can provide you accommodation on campus. It has an extra cost of 350 euro. So it makes your stay, if you are from a partner university, for example, you will be paying 1,200 euros for the classes and the accommodation. You can also access the sport facility, the restaurant from the university. And one good thing also to know is that staying at the restaurant university enables you to have a great meal, which will usually cost between 10 and 15 euros, but you will only pay between 3 and 4 euros. So because our meals are subsidized. Also, one information about Albi is that, yeah, sure, it's a small city, so that might seem a little disadvantage for some people, but actually it's a very good advantage because we are in a cheap city. We are much more affordable than big cities like Paris, Lyon, Lille, Toulouse. So living and spending your summer in Albi is much more affordable than in other cities. And so basically, what will you learn during your stay in Albi? You will have 4 modules, sorry. First module is French for foreigners. This one is the classical one, I would say. This is what you usually learn in the French alliances in your university of origin during your French classes. It's basically grammar and oral and written communication skills. So this is pretty traditional. However, we have another module that is very interesting. It's French on specific purposes. And this module will enable you to improve your vocabulary, especially around sciences and higher education. But we will also tell you how to find an internship in France. You know, we are a school that is under the authority of the Ministry of Industry. So we have a lot of relation with industry, with companies in France. And so our idea is really to teach you about how to find an internship in France and how to find a future job position in our country. Then also understanding the methodology of the French School of Engineering is very important to us. So the idea is that you, after following the French summer school, you will have success during This is the idea. Then you will also have cross-cultural interculturality module. It's, as I told you before, it's very important to apprehend, to understand the French culture, but it's also important because you come from many diverse countries, many different countries. And so we make the most of the diversity, of the huge diversity we have in our classrooms to learn about cultural aspects of all your countries. We usually have two groups. One group is for beginner, and the second group is for advanced students in French. So the first group is usually people who are between A1 and A2 level. And the second group is for people having a level between B1 and B2. Yeah. And finally, the last module we have, it's outside of the classroom. These are the pedagogical visits. It's very important for us to show you that we have a lot of history and a lot of patrimonial interesting aspects in France, but we also visit some companies. This picture, for example, was taken just next to the Airbus headquarters, the Airbus factory. We usually go there. And we try to mix culture and industry in the same visits. And visits are usually take place on Wednesday. So it kind of breaks your week into two. You have 2 intensive days on Monday and Tuesday, then 1 excursion on Wednesday, and then again 2 intensive days of French teaching in Thursday and Friday. Regarding the accommodation, so as I told you, most of our students are accommodated in the campus. What's happening is that during July and August, our students are on holiday or they are in internships. So most of them leave their accommodation free. So that's why we make the most of it to provide you accommodation during this extra month of August, because we can provide it. Otherwise, our students will be in that. And all our accommodations are individual apartments of 18 square meters. And you will have a kitchen and toilets that are individuals. We don't have a shared kitchen or shared toilets. It's very individual to any apartment. So basically, it's just like if you were renting an apartment in the city center, excepting that it's much easier for us to provide you an apartment. You just have to tell us when you arrive, and we will grant you an apartment. And it's much cheaper also, because trying to live outside of the campus in the city of Albi is absolutely possible, but it might be a little bit more expensive. Then we are a team here to help you. Our team is pretty aware of what it means to be an international student. Most of us, we have lived experiences abroad, so we know how difficult it is. And that's why we really focus on helping you with administrative paperwork, with helping you with the access to some good services. We also provide pickup at Toulouse Airport, which is very important. It's all for this year. It will be on Thursday 27 and Friday 28th of July. So you don't have to worry about how to get from Toulouse to Albi. And also last year we had a 100% satisfaction for the French Summer School 2022. And by the way, yes, we have this label, this stamp by Campus France, which shows that we have a high quality on receiving and welcoming international students. Also, I want to show you this this graph because it's it's in French, but I'm going to translate. It's the cultural adaptation curve, and it's usually what happens to international students when they go abroad. We usually have, we are very excited. Our morale, our motivation is very high at the beginning. You know, this is time here, and this is motivation. So at the beginning, when we arrive to a new country, we are usually kind of euphoristic. It's what we call the honeymoon. Everything is new, everything is bright. It's pretty interesting. So students are usually have a very good motivation. But after several months, and usually it's during the fall semester in France, after several months, time is a little bit more cold. I mean, the weather is cold. We change time also. So our sun is going out at 5 p.m. while during the summer it was at 9 p.m. We have exams, we can feel stressed. So people are usually not depressing, but their motivation is declining. Yes, a little bit. So our idea, and by the way, sorry, the third phase is that after feeling stressed, people accept the differences, cross-cultural differences, and they recover their motivation. But our idea is a little bit to smooth this graph and to make it more easier for you. I don't know if I can annotate. Yeah, something like our idea is to have you here and here, you know, so you don't have to feel like, sorry, here, but you don't have to feel depressed or stressed by the situations you're living. This is totally part of the process of any international students. So we want you to help. We want to help you with that. So how to register? Sorry, I would like to suppress this. If I say, no, how can I do? If I say really the same. Okay, that's it. So how to register? To register is really easy. Actually, you just have to fulfill some information on one platform that is called Solenov. And to register, you just need to send us your email address with your full name, first name and last name, and your birth date of birth. So after that, I will send you, I will create your application on our platform. And through this, you will receive an email. You will need to fulfill information about you, about someone, for example, we need to contact in case of emergency. Who is your, what is your institution of origin, some kind of basic information. And then you will receive your letter of admittance, so you can get your visa in the French embassy to arrive and to participate to the French Summer School. So here is the email. You can send us an email at this address. Evan, maybe can you write this in the email in the chat box?
Yeah, sure.
So in case you are interested to participate, you just have to write us an email here. And I will end this presentation by asking you another question. It's this one. Do you want to participate to the French Summer School? Of course, it's not, I mean, there is no engagement behind that. It's just for us to let you to know if you're interested or not. Okay, perfect. We have many people interested. 5 people to now, 6, 7. Wow. So I'm really happy because we are all with Evan. We will welcome you in some weeks in Albi. Great, perfect. So now